So far we have discussed this policy and how to apply policy to an MDP, Markov decision process. That's what, right? So in the initial state, the policy will tell you what is the action to be taken. Then after taking an action, it will get a reward. Then it will move to some new state and so on. This process will repeat until it reaches a goal state. So from now, we'll see what exactly we mean by this optimality or optimal policy. So there are two ways of looking at optimality. So the first way of looking at optimality is, what is the optimality criteria? Optimality criteria means what to actually you are optimizing. That is what optimality criteria means. What is the goal you are being optimized? That is known as optimality criteria. And the second one is, to achieve this optimal policy or sequence of decisions, optimal sequence of decisions, we have to use some algorithm, right? Now, what is the efficiency or optimality of this algorithm? This is the second way of looking at optimality. So, what is the how optimal our algorithm is achieving the goal, right? So, first we'll see optimality criteria, then we'll see the efficiency and optimality of algorithm. So, first we'll see optimality criteria. So, basically, the basic goal of MDP is to gather rewards. The goal of learning is to gather rewards. So, if the agent is only concerned about immediate reward, then the optimality criteria is immediate reward itself. What is immediate reward? Immediate reward is expectation of RT. RT means reward at time t. This is reward at time t. We are taking the expectation. Expected reward at time t is the optimality criteria. If the agent is only concerned about immediate reward, he is not concerned about future rewards, then this is the optimality criteria. Expected reward at time t. On the other hand, if the agent is taking future rewards into account, if he wants to take future rewards also into account, there are different models of optimality criteria. Then the first model is known as finite horizon model. So this finite horizon model basically says that the goal is to maximize expected reward for some steps, some for finite number of steps. It is called finite horizon steps. Suppose if the number of steps is h, then so the time t runs from 0 to h, and the reward at time 0, reward at time 1, reward at time 2, and so on up to reward at time h. So for a finite number of steps, we'll gather rewards. So this is called finite horizon models without any discount factor. You see, this is simply expectation of sum of discounts from starting time to up to h steps. This is called finite horizon model. Means finite number of steps will gather rewards, or the system will gather reward, or the agent will gather reward. If that means the agent is only concerned about reward up to h steps. This is called finite horizon model, and this is the mathematical expression for the optimality criteria. This is the expected reward up to h steps. This is finite horizon model. Then there is a different kind of model known as infinite horizon model. So the infinite horizon model says the expected reward starting from time 0 and so on infinitely. It will go infinitely. That's why it is infinite horizon model. It will go means till the agent reaches its goal state, like that. So this is called infinite horizon model. So the number of steps are not finite. Means it may be finite if it reaches goal state. So this is t runs expectation of t runs from 0 to infinity, sum of rewards at time 0, sum of reward at time 1, and so on. This is infinite horizon model. So note that here also there is no discount factor. Here also this is simply sum of rewards. So in our Markov reward process example, initially we started with total reward without any discount factor. What is the total reward without any discount factors? This is simply 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus and so on. So actually that is an infinite horizon model. You reward at time 0, reward at time 1, reward at time 2, and so on without any discount factors. 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus up to so on infinitely. So which is infinite horizon model. So this is the expression for infinite horizon model. Mathematically, this is the expression for infinite horizon model. Then there is something known as infinite horizon model with discount factor, which is called discounted infinite horizon model. So both this infinite horizon model and discounted infinite horizon model, they take long-term reward into account, long run reward. It will go up to 20 plus 20 up to so on. But this discounted reward will consider discount factor into account. That's why this is known as discounted reward. So coming to infinite discounted horizon model, the mathematical expression for infinite discounted reward is So immediate reward is RT, but future rewards were multiplied with discount factor. So this is what this was written with gamma power t RT. So at time 0, there is no discount factor because this is gamma power 0. At time 1, the discount factor is gamma. At time 2, the discount factor is 2, and so on. This is sum of discounts at time 0 plus discount, I mean sum of reward at time 0 plus discounted reward at time 1 plus discounted reward at time 2 plus and so on. So you have to take sum over all these things. This is called infinite discounted horizon model. So again, in our Markov reward process example, first we started with infinite horizon model, total reward. Then we went to infinite discounted horizon model. So the total reward considering discounts 20 plus 0.9 into 20 plus 0.9 square. So that's what we in our example we saw, right? Without means if it is simple in infinite horizon model, the discount is 20 plus 20 plus 20 and so on. That's what we discussed. So 20 is the immediate reward, current reward. Whereas infinite discounted horizon model, it is 20 plus 0.9 into 20 plus 0.9 square into 20 and so on. This is infinite discounted horizon model. Okay. Then the final kind of model is known as average reward model. So the average reward model, what it will do is, it will take average over rewards collected over a period of time. So the period can be finite or infinite. Suppose if you take infinite, then for this infinite horizon model can be converted into average reward model. How? We'll take average. What is average? Average depends on the number of steps. So instead of infinity, this can be written as expectation of t runs from 0 to h gamma power t RT. This is discounted horizon model for finite number of for each steps. So if we how to take average? Average is 1 by h. Now how to convert this into infinite discounted horizon model with average reward? This is the average reward, but the number of steps are finite. So how to make it infinite? So if you take limit h tends to infinity, then this is infinite horizon. The horizon goes on like that. Limit h tends to infinity in long run means h tends to infinity means in long run you are calculating average reward. So this is called average reward model, and this is the mathematical expression for average reward model. So these are the different kinds of optimality criteria. What are those optimality criteria? First one is immediate reward. If the agent is only concerned about immediate reward, then simply the optimality criteria is expected reward at time t. That's it. Done. We are done. No more future. No more future into account. If the future is, if the agent wants to take future into account, then these are the different optimality criteria. So what are the optimality criteria? Finite horizon model, infinite horizon model, infinite discounted horizon model, average reward model. So these are the 4 things which takes future into account by using discount factor. So generally in our discussion is mostly based on this infinite discounted horizon model. So we'll consider discounted factor into account, and the rewards were collected over long run. T runs from 0 to infinity. In long run, we'll collect rewards and we'll consider discounted values for the future states. Whereas immediate reward, there is no discount factor. So this is the first thing, optimality criteria. What actually we are optimizing? This is called optimality criteria. Are we optimizing immediate reward? Are we optimizing reward for finite number of steps? Are we optimizing reward for infinite number of steps? Or are we optimizing reward for infinite number of steps with discount factor into account and so on? So these are the optimality criteria. So what actually we are optimizing, and our concentration will be mostly on this one, the infinite discounted horizon model. In MRP, in Markov reward process also, we have discussed with this with an example, this infinite discounted horizon model only. Now the second one is, suppose this optimal policy, this optimum criteria was maximized. So the goal is to maximize this criteria, optimality criteria, and we have to come up with some optimal policy. So while coming up with optimal policy, some algorithm, we have designed some algorithm. Suppose someone has designed some algorithm. Now the second one is to analyze the algorithm. What is the efficiency of that algorithm? So there are these 3 ways of looking at this efficiency and optimality of algorithm. First one is learning optimality. So whether the algorithm is actually reaching optimality or not? The first question is. So someone has designed an algorithm for MDP, so for solving MDP. Solving MDP means we have to come up with a policy, better policy or best policy. So the first aspect of looking at is whether the algorithm is actually reaching optimality or not. This is known as learning optimality. Whether the algorithm is actually, whether the agent is able to obtain optimal performance or not. Means using the algorithm, whether the algorithm is not reaching optimality or not means what? Whether the agent is actually obtaining optimal performance or not. This is the first way of looking at learning optimality. Then what is the second way? Second way is, okay, suppose it is reaching optimality, means the agent is getting optimal performance. Okay, then is it enough? If the agent is reaching optimal performance, it is not enough. Then this is the way of looking at optimal performance. If the algorithm is reaching at optimal performance, if the agent is reaching optimal performance, then we have to see the speed and convergence of solution. Means the agent interacts with environment via actions, right? Then it will get some reward. This is the main idea of this reinforcement learning. And in sequential decision problems also, the agent will take some action, right? It will get some reward, then it will transition to some new state, right? So the way of looking at this convergence to a solution is how many interactions are needed to reach the solution, to reach an optimal solution. So if there are two algorithms, A1 and A2, if algorithm 1 is reaching optimal performance or means optimal solution in 10 interactions, and if algorithm 2 is reaching in 50 iterations, then we will say algorithm 1 is better than algorithm 2. So this is the second way of looking at. If the algorithm is actually reaching, then how many interactions are needed to reach the solution, and in each interaction, what is the computation required for each interaction. So these are the two things. First one is learning optimality, means whether the algorithm is actually reaching or not. If it is reaching, what is the cost? How many interactions are needed in each interaction? What is the computation cost? What is the computation required in each interaction? These are the second. Then the third one is, okay, the first second one is, if the algorithm is actually reaching optimality, we are analyzing its number of interactions and what is the computation required in each interaction. The third one is, if the algorithm is not reaching optimality, then how far it is from optimal solution. This is the third way of looking at optimal. So in reinforcement learning, this is known as regret of a policy. Regret of a policy means, suppose if an optimal policy results in a reward of 100 units, and someone has proposed an algorithm which is not reaching optimal policy, it is not generating optimal policy, but its reward is 90. That means it is 10 units far from the optimal reward. So the regret of the policy is 10 units. This is called regret of the policy. So the first question is whether the algorithm is reaching an optimal solution. Optimal policy means whether the algorithm is generating optimal policy or not, whether the agent is reaching optimal performance or not. If it is reaching, how many interactions are needed? What is the computation required for each interaction? If it is not reaching, how far it is from optimal policy or optimal solution? This is called regret. Regret means how far it is from optimal one. Second one is, if it is reaching optimal solution, number of interactions needed and the computation required for each interaction. And the first question is whether the algorithm is actually reaching optimality or not. Okay, so these are the two ways of looking at optimality. What you are actually optimizing, and the second one is analyze the algorithm with respect to efficiency and optimality. Now, why we have discussed these optimality criteria and policies? So generally, basically, we have already discussed value functions and Bellman equations in Markov reward process. But here the Markov value functions are little different because there is this additional aspect known as actions or decisions, right? So basically, the value functions are the link between optimality criteria and policies. Optimality criteria means what actually we are optimizing. So our goal is to come up with an optimal policy. While coming up with an optimal policy, it has to maximize its reward. That's what reward means. What optimality criteria. That's why there is a close link between this optimality criteria and policy. Optimal policy means what? Optimal policy will maximize the criteria what you are actually optimizing. That is optimized. Optimal policy. If the policy is optimal, then the optimal the criteria, the what you actually are what actually you are optimizing is also optimal. That's why there is a close relation. So value functions actually relates this optimal criteria to policy. How, why value functions will relates value optimality criteria to policy? Because we already discussed what is value of a state. Value of a state is the total reward starting from state S. That means what is total reward? So earlier we saw what is the total reward. Total reward is RT value function with respect to MRP definition. What is value function? RT total reward at time t plus gamma times RT plus 1 plus gamma square times RT plus 2 and so on, right? This is the total reward starting from state S. State S means at time t the S state is S, given that at time t the state is S. So this is the value function earlier we defined. So if you observe closely, what exactly meant by this total reward? This is following infinite discounted horizon model, right? That means value function is the value function is defined with respect to optimal criteria only. This is what infinite discount horizon model. So the value function relates this optimal criteria to policies. So generally the algorithm for MDPs, algorithm for Markov decision process, they compute optimal policies by learning value functions, because value functions are the link between optimality criteria and policies. So algorithms, they learn optimal policies by learning value functions. They compute optimal policies by learning value functions. So value function, what actually value function represents? Value function represents how good it is for the agent to be in a state S. So this is with respect to MRP, Markov reward process. This is true. Markov reward process means only states. There is no concept of actions. Therefore, what is the goodness of being in a state S? So value function. That's what V of S. Earlier we defined value of state S. So value of state A. So in our example, we saw there are 5 states: A, B, T, S, D. Value of each state we have computed, right? So value function will tell the goodness, how good it is for the agent to be in a certain state. Value of state A, value of state B, value of state T, value of state S, value of state D. Means what is the goodness of a state? Goodness of being in a state. If the agent is at a particular state, and if the value of that state is high, that means so it is better to stay in that state. That's better to move to that state. That's what the value of state. So value function with respect to MDP not only say so, but this applies for so both of them applies to MDP also. So value function says how good it is for the agent to be in a certain state, or how good it is to be to perform an action in a certain state, to perform a certain action in a state, or to be in a certain state. So the value function actually represents the estimate of how good it is to be in a state, or how good it is for the agent to perform some action. So in MDP, actually we calculate value function with respect to action. So in MRP, we will calculate value of state. Shortly we will see these things, mathematical things. So how good? Now how good we are saying how good, how to express this goodness? The goodness is generally expressed using optimality criteria. Means if the goodness means what? If the expected total reward starting from state S. That what? If total reward starting from state T, earlier we saw this is some 280 something, whereas value of state A is 240 something, 247 or something. So that means here the optimal criteria value of the criteria is more here. The expected reward is more in state T rather than being in state A. So the goodness is expressed using optimal criteria or expected reward or expected return. So value functions are generally defined with respect to policies now, because policy is the thing which will tell the action to be taken in a state. Earlier in Markov reward process, we defined value functions with respect to states because there is no concept of actions. Now here in MDP we have actions also. So in a state, what is the action to be taken? Who will decide the action? Who will tell the action? Policy will tell the action. That's why now the value function is defined with respect to policy. Suppose the system is in state S, then value of, how to define value function? Value function is defined with respect to policies. Pi. Policy is defined by policy pi. So now we'll see. So V pi of S. This says value of a state S under policy pi. So V pi of S actually says value of state S under policy pi, which means the system is in state S. So we have already defined discussed how to apply policy to an MDP. What will do? What are we doing? If the system is in state S, the policy will tell what is the action to be taken. Then the system will perform that action. Then it will get a reward, and then it will move to some other state, and so on, right? So if it is in state S, then this policy will tell what is the action. So what is the action? How we are defining action? We defined action as pi of S, because we are discussing with respect to deterministic policies. Because stochastic policies are little more involved. That's why I am discussing the stochastic policies. Mathematically, they are more involved than deterministic policies. That's why I am discussing with respect to deterministic policies. So if the system is in state S, and so we are saying V phi of S means value of state S under policy pi. Under policy pi means the system is following policy pi from state S onwards. Remember this definition. V phi of S means value of state S under policy phi means value of the system in state S. So from state S onwards, the actions are defined with respect to policy. Whatever policy suggests, that action will be performed. So if the system is in state S, and if the policy suggests an action pi of S, then the system will perform this action pi of S. Then it will get some reward RS. Then it will move to some new state S dash, and so on. So this is the definition of V phi of S. Remember, this is very important. In our subsequent discussions, we use this notation very heavily. V phi of S means from state S onwards, we are using policy phi. Policy will tell for each state what is the action to be performed. So from state S onwards, we are using policy phi means in state S, the policy will tell what is the action to be performed, pi of S. So the system will perform the same action. It will move to S dash. Again, the policy will tell what is the action to be performed. What is the action to be performed? Pi of S dash, and so on. So from state S onwards, all subsequent states, the policy will tell the action and the system will perform the same action. This is the definition of V phi of S. So what exactly V phi of S means? V phi of S means expected return or reward starting in state S and following the policy thereafter. Means from state S onwards, we are following the policy. Whatever policy suggests, that action only the agent will take, that action only. This is defined by V phi of S. Now what is the expected reward starting in state S, following the policy thereafter. From S onwards, we are following the policy phi. Whatever action the policy suggests, the agent will take that action. So mathematically, this is represented like this. So V phi of S is expected reward. So this is expected reward. So this is the subscript. Subscript pi says that it is following the policy pi. So this is this we already saw, right? This is gamma power k into RT. This is not T plus K. This is RT actually. Sorry, some mistake. This is RT. Gamma power k plus RT plus K. No, it is true. RT plus K only. Yes. So this is V phi of S. Expected reward. This is reward. Expected reward in state S. What is the model? Model is infinite discounted origin model, right? Because the discounted factor is there. This is infinite sum. And the subscript phi says we are following the policy thereafter. So this is called value function. And then there is something known as action function. So this value function is also known as state value function, because this is defined with respect to state. State value function or value function we will use interchangeably. So state value function means value of state S, value expected reward starting at state S and following the policy phi thereafter. So now there is this different state value function. The state value function is defined using the notation Q. So it says state value function will mathematically define, then you will understand. So the state value function says the expected reward starting from state S, taking action A in state S, and thereafter following policy phi. Did you see this one? So it says the value function says that expected reward from state S and following phi thereafter, means in state S also you are following the policy phi. Whereas action function says your expected reward from state S and taking action A in state S. So action in state is A, but after subsequently it will move to some new state, right? Then what are the action to be performed in the new state? That is defined based on policy. So in next state it will follow the policy, but in the current state it is taking action A. Current state the action is fixed, it is performing action A. Current state it is not following policy, but in the next state it is following the policy. This is called action value function. So action value is from the state and action. In the current state the action is known, but in the future states the action is with respect to policy, right? Policy will tell what is the action to be performed, but in the current state it is not following policy, but in the next state onwards it is following the policy. In current state what is the action? The action is fixed, that is A. It is taking some action A. This is called action value function, but it is also with respect to states. That's why it is state value function. So the state value function is with respect to state and action. That's why it is S cross A to some value. It will assign some value. So based on some state, so it simply says Q of S comma A will assign some value, some real value. So same, whereas value function for state it will assign some value, but value function with respect to policy means the action to be performed depends on policy from state S onwards. Whereas in action value function, in state S the value does not depend on policy. In state S we are taking action A. From the subsequent state, from the next state onwards, we are following action recommended by policy. So this is the difference between action value function and value function. So this difference we have to understand the action value function and policy function, because these are useful while defining the optimal policy. So this is the action value function. What is action value function? Same, this is the expected reward in state S, and the action in state AS is fixed. What is action in state S? It is A, but it is following policy. It is following, so when the action in state S is already known, means already fixed, then but we are saying following policy, means in the subsequent states it is following policy, but in the current state it is not following the policy. In current state it is performing an action A, but in the current next state onwards it is performing action recommended by policy. But whereas value function means from the current state onwards it is following the action recommended by policy. This is the difference between value function, state value function, and state action function. So V phi of S is the state value function. This is the state action function, because this is state and action. That's why it is called state action function. This is state value function, but both of them follows policy. Value function follows the policy from now onwards, whereas action function follows policy from the next state onwards. So value function, we'll see. We'll expand the value function defined in the previous slide. The value function was defined like this, right? We'll expand. In Markov reward process also we have expanded. So what is the expected return starting in state S and following phi thereafter? This is the expected reward. If we expand, given that the current state is S, here the subscript is phi. If I missed it, so everywhere the subscript is there, phi. So this can be written like this. If we take gamma common, the same expression, then this is known as GT plus 1. GT means what? We already defined. GT means the total reward starting from state T at time T. So this is equivalent to GT plus 1. If this is GT, this is GT. So what exactly this is? This is GT plus 1. So the total reward starting at time T is equivalent to value at ST, at value at state T. That's what, right? So this is value at state ST plus 1. But here we are following policy. Everywhere we are writing, we have to write policy phi. We are following policy phi. So now Is it the final expression? But still, you see, we have derived the Bellman equation from value function. The Bellman equation does not consist of any expectation operators. We have expanded the expectation operator. Finally, we got Bellman equation for value function for Markov reward process. Similarly, we have to expand this value function to get a Bellman equation for Markov decision process. How to get the Bellman equation for Markov decision process? We have to expand this expectation operator. How to expand this? How to expand this? How to expand? Again, using the same representation, graph representation. So if the system is in state S, it will get a value V of S. It is called actually V phi of S. This is V phi of S. So in state S, so value function says that you follow the policy from now onwards. In state S also, it will follow the policy. So in state S, it has taken action. It has taken action recommended by policy phi. So the agent has performed an action phi of S. Then it will move to, then it can move to any one of the states, right? Based on action, based on pi of S, based on pi of S, it will move to, it may not move to one state, it may move to multiple states, because this is the assumption of this reinforcement learning, sequential decision problems, probabilistic planning, and everything. What we discussed, the outcome of action is uncertain. So in our 4x3 maze example also I discussed. So if the agent was told to go up, then the agent will go up with probability 0.8, and the agent will go left with probability 0.1, and the agent will go right with probability 0.1. So if the system is in state, if the system is in state 1, and if it was told to go up, and it will go up with probability 0.8, but with probability 0.1 it will go right. So there are two possible next states. This is on next state, this is on next state. Although the action is go up, it is not going up because the outcome of action is uncertain, right? That's why, although the policy is suggesting an action pi of S, after performing this action pi of S, it may go to a state S dash, or it may go to state S double dash with some probability. So this what is this probability? This probability is the transition. What is the transition? Transition, if the system is in state S and performed an action pi of S, then it may move to state S dash. This S dash can be this S dash or this S double dash. It can be anything, right? So we have to take all possible next states and the transition probability of going to that next states after performing an action pi of S. That we have to take care, right? Here we are in state S. The system has performed an action pi of S. It may move to this state S dash, or it may move to state S double dash. So we have to consider these both next states based on their transition probabilities. So using this transition probabilities and transition probabilities, we will expand the expectation operator. So we are starting at start S. We'll give a value V of S, but from state S we have a probability of T of S comma phi of S comma S dash to end up in the next state. So after performing pi of S, probability of 0.8 to land in this state, and 0.1 to land in this state, and so on. So because the effect of actions are uncertain. So we have two possible next states in this example. In real world, there may be multiple next states. What is the expected reward? Expected reward is, so there. So expected reward, this can be, this is the final expression. This can be written like this, because how to expand the expectation operator? You have to multiply with transition probability. Transition probability into this is the value of transition reward of the transition, plus discount factor into this is the value of next state. So this sum is over all possible next states. S dash is the next state. This is the value of next state. So this sum is for all possible next states. All possible next states. After computation is same value, then what action will consider? Transition probability. Someone is asking a doubt. Dr. Sachin Nandan Mohanty. After computation, same value, then what action will consider? His question is that after computation is same value means then what action? So if he was asking that if for two actions, if the value is same, then which action to consider? That's what he was asking based on transition, right? So this is not just one step ahead. It will consider. So that's what Dr. Mohanty. So actually, it is, you see, if you see this one, this v phi of s, this v phi of s is again defined recursively. This v phi of s dash is defined again recursively. Means this will depend on its next state. It will depend on its next states and so on. So if it is, if after performing, if two actions are giving same action, then we can take any action. Means the final result will be same, because it is not just considering one step ahead. It is considering all recursively. It was defined recursively. So we'll see this, how to calculate this value function. There is an algorithm, value iteration and policy iteration. There we will come to know if the two actions are giving same value, then we can take any action. Okay. Now, so this is the expansion of this expectation operator. After, so this is probability sum of transition probability multiplied by immediate reward plus discount factor into value of next state. So this sum is over all possible next states. So for a given policy phi, v phi is unique. If the policy is fixed, then the value function is fixed. Means if the policy is known, we can compute value function based on the, because policy will tell what is the action. Because so far we are discussing deterministic policy only. Deterministic policy means policy will tell in each state what is the action to be performed. So since we know that, since the policy is telling action, the value is unique with respect to a policy. The goal is to find a best policy. What is best policy? Policy that gives highest reward, most reward. That is known as best policy. Most reward means what? This reward is defined with respect to that infinite discounted horizon model. We have seen the optimality criteria, right? So the policy that receives most reward or most that criteria that gives that is best with respect to that optimality criteria. That is known as best policy. So this means maximizing the value function for all states. So best policy means what? Best policy not only gives a maximum reward for a single state, it has to give maximum reward for all states. Suppose there are two policies, phi 1 and phi 2. Suppose policy phi 1 is giving, suppose these are the three states A, B and C. Policy phi 1 is giving, after using policy phi 1, the value of states after following phi 1 are 10, 20, 30. After using policy phi 2, the value of states are 10, 20, 31. You see, so if you are following policy phi 2, policy phi 2 is better than policy phi 1, because the value of state C in this case is better than value of state in policy phi 1. So therefore, best policy means it has to maximize value function for all states. So here this value, this policy is better than this policy, because this is better with respect to each state. This is less than or equals to 10, this is less than or equals to 10, this is less than or equals to 31, right? That's why phi 2 is better than phi 1. So best policy means a policy that maximizes value function for each state, for all states, yes, for all states in the system. So let's denote the optimal policy using the notation pi dash. So an optimal policy satisfies this. What is this? If pi dash is an optimal policy, then for all states and for all policies phi, means suppose if there are three policies, phi 1, phi 2 and phi 3. Let's say pi 3 is the optimal policy, pi 3 is pi star. Then it has to satisfy the following. What is that? The value function for each state. Let's say there are three states, value function. So the value function of state following policy pi 3 must be better than pi 1 and pi 2. So V of A following pi 1 and V of A following pi 2, V of A following pi 3, then V of A following pi 3 must be better. Similarly, V of B following pi 3 must be better than these two. Similarly, V of C following pi 3 must be better than these two. So the mathematically this can be written like this. So for all states S and for any policy pi, for all policies in the system, for all policies phi, V optimal value of optimal policy, value of state following optimal policy must be greater than or equals to value of state following any other policy phi. So this is mathematical representation of optimal policy. So the value of state under optimal policy must be equals to expected return for the best action in the state. So that's what we discussed so far. So value of state following pi 3 must be better than these two, means the action must be better than these two. Suppose if the action here is A1, action here is A2, action here is A3. If in state S, if the action is A3, then it is getting better reward. Similarly, so in each state, so the value function under an optimal policy is equal to expected return for the best action in that state. So if in a state, if there are three actions are possible, A1, A2, A3, then the optimal policy must select the best action that maximizes the value of that state. So this has to apply for each state. So in each state, the optimal policy must select an action that gives highest expected return. That is the optimal policy. So the optimal policy, mathematically optimal policy satisfies the following. Because policy was defined like this. Mathematically policy was defined. This is the policy. This is the definition of policy. What is the definition of policy? Sum of transition probabilities multiplied by, this is the reward for transition plus gamma discount factor into reward value of next state. So this is value. We will write there, otherwise no issue. One correction. This is not A. This is phi of S, because this is following policy pi. So what is V phi? V phi we already discussed. V phi of S is sigma sum over next states transition from S to pi of S dash, means in S it is following policy pi of S and it is transition to new state S dash, into this is reward for transition S comma A comma S dash plus gamma times V of S dash, V phi of S dash. This is the value function with respect to state S. Now how to define optimal solution? The optimal solution or optimal policy, what is optimal policy? We just now we discussed. So value of a state under optimal policy, that's what we defined just now. What is the value of state under optimal policy? It must be equals to expected return for the best action in that state, right? So here so this is the action suggested by policy phi. So this is pi of S. So these are the actions suggested by policy pi of S. So if phi is optimal, then this action must be optimal. This pi of S must be optimal. So this is the mathematical representation of value of a state under optimal policy phi star. So what is value of state under optimal policy? This must be equivalent to the value under best action. That's what. So this is what you see. The expected return for the best action in that state. So in the state S, if there are three actions are possible, A1, A2, A3, then we have to take maximum. So the value of state under optimal policy is this is the expected reward for the best action. So we have to select an action that maximizes this value function. That kind of action the policy has to select. So this is value function. Value function under optimal policy was defined like this. So we are always selecting. So it was like this. So suppose if there are three actions, let's say, then sigma S dash T comma S comma A1 S dash, this is also A1 S dash, and this is same. If it is A2, then sigma S dash T of S comma A2 comma S dash, and so on. If it is action 3, if it is S dash T of S comma A3 comma S dash and so on, right? So we have to select maximum among these things simply. This is the simpler expression than then. So we have to find this expression wherein action is A1. We have to find the same expression wherein action is A2, and we have to find the same action wherein action is A3, and we have to take. So this is the value, one value, when the action is A1. This is the value when the action is A2. This is the value when the action is A3, and we have to select maximum. That's why this can be written as, we have to select an action that maximizes this value, right? So how to select an action that maximizes the value? That is the best action. So this is called value of a status under optimal policy. Now this is value. Remember, this equation is to define value of a state following optimal policy phi. Now what is the optimal policy? Optimal policy means what? Policy means what? For every state, it has to tell what is the action to be taken. Now, so if the value of state under optimal policy is defined like this, that means we are always the policy has to select an action that maximizes the value of the state, right? So what is the optimal policy in a state? Optimal policy in a state is to select the action that maximizes the state. So this, the same thing can be extended here. Here it will get this value, whatever, whichever is maximum, will give it to V of S, via V 5 star of S. Whereas optimal policy means the action will be known as optimal policy. The action which maximizes the value of a state is known as policy, optimal policy. So mathematically it can be written as argmax. Argmax means this will return the action. So the action will be assigned to 5 star FS. Whereas here the action will not be assigned. Here the value will be assigned to this V5RS. That is the difference between max and argmax, right? Anyhow, you know. So argmax will take the argument. It will return the argument, whereas maximum will return the value, whichever is the maximum value. So here if the action is A1, action is A2, action is A3, you will get three values. Whichever is maximum, that will be assigned to V5 star FS. Whereas here, if the action is A1, it will get some value. If the action is A2, it will get some value. If action is A3, it will get some value. Whichever is maximum, that action will be assigned to 5 star FS. That's why it is argmax. You know, most of you know, all of you know about this max and difference between max and argmax. So okay, so with small example, is it possible to explain a small example with computation, value and optimal policy? Can you explain previous slide? Okay. Yes, I will explain with some small example as recommended by Dr. Mohanty. I will explain with one example. Maybe it will clear the things. I will explain one moment. Example is there, but maybe there is too much slides. That's why. Suppose let's consider this same example. This 4x3 robot in a room. This is the starting state. These are the goal states, +1 and -1. And if the agent was told to go up, it will move up with probability 0.8. It will move left with probability 0.1. It will move right with probability 0.1. So the actions are up, down, left, right. The transition model was defined like this, right? And then collision with wall results in no moment. Means if the system is in start state, if it moves left, there is no state. That's why again it will end up in the same state. Okay, if it moves down, again it will end up in the same state. Okay. So suppose, let's say these are the optimal values. First we'll define what is optimal policy using these values, right? Suppose this is the value of state A. This is value of state A means this is 1 1. This is, let's say this is 1 1. This is 1 2. This is 1 3 1 4 2 1 2 2. This is 2 1. This is 3 1. It can be defined like that, right? So what is value of, what is an optimal policy here? What is an optimal policy? How to define an optimal policy? Optimal policy means we have to select an action. The action can be, the action The agent can be told that you move up, and the action can be move right, or the action can be move left, or the action can be move down, right? So where to move? That is the question, right? Now, so if the system is in state A, value of state A, following policy. What is the value of state A in following policy? It was defined. Use that what is the possible actions? Move up, move right, move left, move down, right? So if it is in state A, if it is moving up, if it moves up, the actions of the effect of action is uncertain. Means if the agent was told to move up, it will move up with probability 0.8. It will move right with probability 0.1. It will move left with probability 0.1, right? Means it was, if it was told to move in a certain direction, it will move in that direction with probability 0.8, and in right angles, it will move in probability 0.1. So if it was told to move up, if the action is up, then what is the value? It is 0.8 into, what is the value? 0.762. And what is the right angles? Right angles are left and right. So 0.1 into 0.762 plus 0.1 into 0.762. There is no down, because no, not this is 0.1 into 0.655. What is value of state 11? Value of state 11, if the action is up, then with 0.8 it will move to state 21. What is the value of state 21? 0.762. And if with 0.8 only it will move, with 0.1 it will move left, with 0.1 it will move right. So 0.1 into, what is the value if it moves left? If it moves left, then it will reach wall. That means it will again end up in same state, 0.705. And if it moves right, then it will go to state 12. What is the value? 0.655. So this is the value if the action is move up. Similarly, we can calculate action if the value if the action is move left. If the action is move left, then it will move left with probability 0.8. And what are its right angles? Its right angles are this one and this one. So it will move up and move down with probability 0.1 and 0.1. So this can be, so if I will write for left, you can write for other two. If it is left, how to find value of 11 if the action is move left? If the action is move left, it will move left with probability 0.8. And what is the value if the action is left? It will move to state 12. Then the value is 0.655 plus. Then with 0.1 it will move, with 0.1 it will move up, and with 0.1 it will move down. So with 0.1 it will move up. And what is the value? 0.762. And with move down, 0.1 into 0.70. Move down means it will remain in the same state, right? So from these two examples, okay, let's say these are the two actions, up and this is for up action, this is for left action. Similarly, you can calculate for right action and down action, right action and down action also. Suppose if we calculate, let us see only these two actions, up action and left action. You see, this is 0.8 into 0.762. 0.762 is better than 0.705 and 0.655. So it is 0.8 into 0.655, which is a low value, whereas it is 0.8 into 0.762, means 0.1 times more. This is 0.655, this is 0.762, means 0.655 plus 0.11 is 0.76, right? So obviously we can, from this we can say the value of state 11 when the action is up is greater than value of state 11 when the action is left. Similarly, you can calculate the value of state 11 when the action is down and the action is left. So if we calculate all those things, you will see that the value of state 11 when the action is up is greater than left, and greater than right, greater than down. So the, what is the policy? Optimal policy. Optimal policy in state 11 is to move up with reward, some reward is 0.04 everything, right? So you see, if so in state 11 What is the optimal policy? Optimal policy is to move up. So policy means what? Action. What is action? What is optimal action in state 1 is to move up. This way we can calculate optimal policy. So this is what optimal policy means. You have to come up with the action that gives maximum value, right? So there, these are the probabilities. This is 0.8 I wrote, right? 0.8 and so on. I directly write 0.8 into value of the state, but actually it is the reward in that example is minus 0.04. So 0.04 plus gamma discount factor 0.9 into value of state we have to write actually. Although I have written like that for simplicity. This is the actual representation. So this is the optimal values and optimal policies. Now, so as we have defined optimal value function and optimal policy. So now we will try to define optimal policy using optimal action value function. We have seen the difference between value function and action function. State value function means the agent follows policy from state S onwards, whereas action value function means the agent will perform an action A in state S and afterwards it will follow policy phi. So what is an optimal state action value? We'll see. So the optimal state action value can be expanded from the value function. If this is the optimal value function, then the same way, what is optimal state value function? Optimal state action value is what is optimal state action value? What I said, optimal state action value means suppose q pi of SA. State action value means in state S the action is fixed A. Afterwards it follows phi. So optimal, we are saying optimal action value means optimal policy. So the action value under optimal policy phi star means in state S still it will follow the same action. What is that action? A. But from next state onwards, what it will follow? It will follow optimal policy. What is the optimal policy? Phi star of S dash it will follow. So what is phi star of S dash? We'll define what is optimal policy. Policy will take a best action. Best action means what? Action that maximizes the value. Therefore, what is the action? Here it has to take some action A dash, right? What is the action? The action is it will take an action that maximizes its action value function. That action it will take. That kind of policy only. That kind of policy is the optimal policy. Now we'll see the relation between optimal value function and optimal state value function. What is that? We know the difference between optimal state value function and action value function. State value function, it follows policy from state S onwards, whereas action value function in state S it will use some action, and from state S onwards, from next state onwards, it will use policy phi. So how to define action value with respect to value? So you see what is optimal action value. Optimal action value was defined like this. Then what exactly this means? This means from S dash onwards we are following policy phi star, right? We are S dash onwards we are following phi star. That's why this can be written as V phi star of S dash, because in S dash also we are following policy, optimal policy. In subsequent states also we are following optimal policy, which means this expression, action that gives maximum value, you follow that kind of actions from S dash onwards. So this is the value in state S under optimal policy phi star. So this can be written like this. So this is the best action, the action that gives highest reward based on possible next states. And this is the optimal policy with respect to action value function can be written like this, because this can be written like this. So far any questions? Up to now MDP is finished, but algorithms for MDP is there. Yes, sir, Sachin sir, and Mohanty sir. Mohanty sir asked one question that action depends on highest value? Yes, it depends on action depends on highest value. The optimal policy means it will select an action with highest value. So in our example, the actions can be move up from starting state onwards. It can be move up, move left, move right, move down. Then it will calculate the actions. If the next state is so and so, if the action is up, what is the value? If the action is left, what is the value? If the action is right, what is the value? If the action is down, what is the value? Based on that, it will take the action. Optimal policy means it will select an action with highest value. Is it necessary we take same state values? Suppose if there is no left moves. If there is no left move means actually that's what someone asked Spurti. So our example, if this is the example, this robot in a room, if this is the start state, and the assumption is if it moves left, it will hit the wall and it will remain in the same state. So therefore, when it moves left, it will remain in the same state. It will remain in the same state. Yes, any other questions? Is it okay, Spurti? That's what. If there is no left, yes, if there is no left mode, then we'll stay in the same state. That is assumption. Assumption of that problem is if we move left, we'll hit the wall. The lines are the walls. If we hit the wall, then we'll stay in the same state. Remember, in entire discussion, the effect of actions are uncertain. So although the optimal policy suggests, recommends an action up, there is no guarantee that the agent will end up in the from state 1-1. It may not end up in state 2-1 because sometime back Dr. Mohanty sir asked one question that the transition probability with respect to transition probability after computation same value, then what action we'll consider. The action, the policy will tell action, but it is not guaranteed that the system will end up in the. So if this is the example, if this is state 1-1, this is state 2-1, state 3-1, and so on. If the optimal action is to move up, so policy recommends an action up. But do you think the agent will end up in state 2-1? That depends on transition probability. So up to with probability 0.8, the agent may take the action up, but with 0.1 probability, the agent moves on the right angles. So that's why we are taking these while calculating the value functions. 0.8 into the value, 0.1 into value, and 0.1 into value. We are taking everything into account. Okay, if the action is up, we may end up in 2-1, or we may stay in 1-1, or we may go to 1-2 also. So we are taking all these values, we are considering all these values, whichever gives highest value, that only we are considering. So if you see this example, these are the values that was computed using some algorithms. The algorithms I have not discussed due to lack of time. If you see, If the reward RS, reward of transition is 0.04, then these are the actions. If the system is in state, this state 1,3, then what is the action? What is optimal action? Optimal action is to move left. This is called optimal policy. This is optimal policy. Policy means it will tell what is action to be performed at each and every state. Whereas for goal states, there is no action, because in goal state the probability of moving to other states is 0, whereas probability of ending in the same state is 1. Therefore, there are no actions in the goal state. That is, those are the end states. But whereas for all other states, the policy has to recommend some action. So this is, since this is the optimal policy, it will recommend the best action. Now, if you see, this is an optimal policy with reward 0.1. If the reward of the state, reward of being in state is 0.1, then this is the optimal policy. You can use the Bellman equation for value function and action value functions to compute the optimal value. This is the reward for state S, and this is the optimal policy when the reward is -2 and so on. So as the value, as the reward of state changes, the optimal policy may change. Suppose if you see here, any change when RS is 0.1, in this state the optimal policy is to move up, whereas when RS is -2, in this state the optimal policy is to end up in this goal state. So you move towards right. So these are the references. You can get good material on Markov addiction process. Other questions? Questions?
So if you have any question, please ask. Any question?
No query.
Okay, we'll stop here, Bala sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Bala sir, for introducing a very nice topic and explained very nicely. So thank you very much.